morning to you live here from the University of Johannesburg's Soweto campus. Well, this is where at 10 o'clock this morning we'll be having the Gauteng Premier David Makhura, who will be delivering the State of the Province Address 2019. Quite a number of issues that are expected to be announced by him in his particular address this morning. Health is one of those issues. Certainly, I think, this new legislature, the sixth legislature, would want to avoid, for example, in the health sector. You'd remember the controversial Life SABC tragedy that took place here in Gauteng. How does this particular legislature plan to deal with some of the challenges in the public healthcare sector in this particular province? Let's join now Dr. Bandile Masuku, who is the MEC for Health in this province. Dr. Masuku, thank you very much for your time this morning. Look, you certainly hit the ground running. You're new, of course, to this portfolio. But once you came in, you already had to deal with some of the crises in the public healthcare sector, including what we saw happen at the Mamelodi Hospital. Let me just try and see if I can't get an update from you. There were some officials that had been suspended there. Any update pertaining to that incident?
Yes, I think it was a good induction for me, and it was almost like a baptismal of fire. But I think what is important about it summarizes all the challenges that we face in health, as it relates to the patient experience, as it relates to shortage of staff, as it relates to staff morale and staff attitudes. So those are the issues that I think we need to move going forward to deal with. But the update is that we have completed the preliminary investigation, so now we are only waiting for the processes, the labor processes that will start in dealing with the said officials.
All right. When is that likely to happen? Some timelines?
No, it has already started, and we are hoping that it will be completed by end of this month, because we don't want to spend a lot of time with a matter that is still open and pending. And one of the things is that we have been there, we have met with the community, we have met with the community and we have engaged with them, and we have also met with the family. And they are still getting a bit of debriefing and counseling, and I think so far we are still doing enough. But there are long-term things, projects that we need to run with the hospital itself in terms of expansions and everything, and those are underway, and those are things that maybe the Premier will touch on and give timelines on.
Dr. Masuku, the last administration here in Gauteng, of course, was also dogged by other controversies, including the Life SABC tragedy. Certainly, this particular one would not want to see a repeat of what happened at Life SABC. What interventions do you think need to be put in place in this new legislature to ensure that what we saw happen at Life SABC does not happen again?
As a provincial government, we have also committed ourselves that we are going to be an activist government. So we won't be waiting for anyone to be telling us what is happening. We'll be on the ground, experiencing everything what the citizens of Gauteng are experiencing, and if there are problems, we are going to respond to them as immediate as possible. If they require an immediate response, we'll do that. If they require a long-term response, we'll do that. But we are not going to be aloof, and we are not going to be far away from the issues. We are going to be with our frontline staff and every day be with them. So that's the only way that we can be able to prevent some of these tragedies happening.
Also at Chriselda Lewis Hospital, there was another baptism of fire for you, in that you had to deal with one of the crises there where a baby was also stolen. I mean, in terms of security at the public hospitals in Gauteng, I mean, Chriselda Lewis being one of the biggest in the Southern Hemisphere, in terms of dealing with security, those are some of the other aspects as well that you need to deal with. Any immediate plans for your particular portfolio at this stage?
And security has become a big concern, particularly for health, and it also relates to the EMS attacks, So we are in discussion with the police, we are in discussion with the security companies that work in our facilities, but we have seen a lot of lapses that have happened, particularly the incident at Bara. It just shows that without us being able to be vigilant, those incidents will happen. But with others, we hope that with the involvement of the police and securing our facilities, it will also actually take us forward.
Just over the weekend, we also saw that there had been some communication about emergency services or rather suspending their operations in Cosmo City, not too far from where we are. Could you give us an update on that? We understand that there had been some attacks on emergency services officials. attacks?
Yes, there have been some attacks on the EMS actual services, and I think this is one of the issues that would want our communities and society to get involved in, because these are the people that save our lives, that sacrifice all what they have just to be able to be the first on the ball when our people get injured or when they are sick, and we are dealing with it in that fashion.
Are they suspended for now?
Not the issues that service is under the city of Johannesburg, but we are dealing with it from the provincial aspect. Our head of EMS has met with them, have got a brief, so they are also as a province who are going to intervene to make sure that the services is not totally cut off from that area.
All right, let's talk about the expectation from the Gauteng Premier David Makhura today. Obviously, health is one of his critical aspects. What can we expect from that in terms of bolstering and strengthening access to health within this particular province?
Yeah, I think we're going to expect a lot of targets that we need to meet as the health department, because it's going to talk about our own performance as a department, but it's going to relate to patient experience, as I've said, how we're going to improve our facilities, renovate our facilities. It's also going to talk about the issues of waiting time, and also it's going to talk about staff morale, because it's one of the key areas that we need to deal with and make sure that we're able to have a happy and a healthy workforce that will be able to deal with everything.
All right, thank you very much for your time, Dr. Bandile Masuku, who is the health MEC here in Gauteng, on some of the expectations. Certainly he was met with a baptism of fire when he took over this particular portfolio, and looking at how to strengthen the health care system in Gauteng to make sure that everyone who accesses public health care in Gauteng is able to get an experience that they desire. But that's where we're going to leave it here on Morning Live. Thank you very much for joining us. We'll continue, however, to broadcast here ahead of that State of the Province address by the Gauteng Premier, live here from the University of Johannesburg's Soweto campus. We'll certainly engage with as many more MECs as possible. But let's take a short break here on Morning Live. We'll continue with Morning Live from our Johannesburg studios after this short break.